Trump is such a failure. He's going to leave office being the first president in 100 years that wasn't able to overthrow a South American country.
It's not that hard, Trump. Come on. Just, it's not that hard. How hard is it?
Come on. You can't even do Haiti. You can't even nothing.
you could even get like Barbados or some just easy one. Nothing. You know what I mean? Just
nothing.
Just send one boat of Marines to Barbados and just put a flag up. Come on.
I mean, Chile's on the brink. Just give him a nudge. Let's do Chile again.
That should be a bumper sticker. Let's do Chile again.
I'm sure you still got the old offices from last time.
Yeah. I mean, why not? I'm sure there's some Pinochet loyalists down there. You could get back in the hopper. And the other thing too that I've noticed, and I know you've noticed this too, is all that rhetoric about now's not the time for revolution, and oh Bernie, you know, he wasn't popular enough. Like they won't honestly admit to the cheating of this primary and the 2016 primary. But yet again, all of these progressive policies and down ballot people have won. Like the fact that Florida voted in a super majority for $15 an hour
minimum wage,
more people voted for that than voted for Trump or Biden. Like,
so that's why how we're living in a failed state, because our as the Princeton study years ago proved, that we don't live in any semblance of a democracy. We actually, we get to vote, but we actually live in an oligarchy, because your vote doesn't have any correlation to policy implementation or laws being passed. And so it's only the upper 10% of wage earners who have a correlation. So if 10% of the upper 10% of wage earners want something, 10% of the time it gets passed. If 50% of the upper 10% want something, 50% of the time it will get passed. The lower 80% of wage earners, which is the rest of us, has absolutely no correlation to what our desires are in government legislation and what actually happens. Zero. So it is a fact that we live in an oligarchy. We just have the appearance of being in a democracy. So that the democracy's already been taken from you. In fact, the exit polls, I saw this on Fox News, 72% of Americans are for government-run healthcare.
Yes.
And by the way, it's not government run. It's government paid for. Like Medicare isn't government run. You don't go to a government doctor. You go to your fucking doctor and he orders the shit and then the government sends a check. That's how it works. It's not government run. But even with that wording, Fox News poll had 72%. And so, and neither of them would offer that to us. What is that? Why? Because of corruption. Because our government has been 100% captured by the corporations they're supposed to be regulating. And that's why we're living in the richest country the world has ever seen. And 80% of our workers live paycheck to paycheck. 80 million people have no insurance or are underinsured. And people go bankrupt all the time. And people are under mountains of debt, and people are under I live in California, and all these motherfuckers telling you to vote blue. I live in California, which is a super majority Democrat state with a governor who is a Democrat. The city of Los Angeles has a Democratic city council with a Democratic mayor, and there are people living under every bridge in this fucking state. And
every single one.
Yes. And so, and even where there aren't bridges. So what I'm saying is this idea that we're going to be able to vote our way out of this by voting for this two-party, which is really a one-party duopoly, is a fool's errand. Talk about who's being petulant children now. Let's keep doing what we've always done, and which has made things worse. Every 4 years, the Democratic Party goes a little bit further right. I don't know if you noticed, Joe Biden is to the right of Hillary Clinton. And he's got a worse record. And I mean, Hillary Clinton was going to give Medicare to people 50 and over. Joe Biden won't even fucking do that. So so now this is why is the Republican Party so batshit crazy? Because the Democrats became right-wing Republicans, and so every time the Democrats move right, the Republicans move right a little bit more. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not just a blunder, a mishap or a mistake that they ran a pro-Trump Democrat against Mitch McConnell. They need Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell is great for fundraising. I'm still getting the fundraising emails. I'm like, your bullshit election's over and you're still out there like, we need to help. You need to help donate. It's all these emergency donation emails to keep the count going and whatever. I've been getting these for months. And it's like that you look at this ridiculous duopoly, and it's why Nancy Pelosi won. The Republicans need Nancy Pelosi because the Republicans are sold a bill, they sell their audience that, it's funny. They're like, Pelosi and Joe Biden are Marxists. I'm like, God damn, I wish they were Marxists. I mean, they're Republicans. So they just need this for the fundraising. But the thing that is, again, like you talk about that Fox poll, that's what the people want, what they voted for in Florida. You've got the like little wins here, like the mayor of Baldwin Park is a Green. He just a 26. He just won. They had the same mayor for like 20 years, and he just beat him. Nithya Ramon, who is a progressive activist, got on the LA City Council. It's the first time they've had a new city council member in 17 years. So like you're seeing these wins, which actually always contradict the Democratic Party's, now's not the time for a revolution, or it's not, how are you going to pay for it, or whatever their bullshit is. In America, the thing about this pandemic and the CARES Act, the American people went, oh, so the federal government can just write big checks? Well, then why don't they just write a big check? I mean, and people are waking up to the fact that student debt forgiveness, 85% of student debt is federal. The president, by executive order, doesn't need Congress. There's no money to get. You're just signing something, forgiving this money, and it puts trillions of dollars back into the economy. Joe Biden couldn't even run on that. He couldn't even promise people that. He couldn't say, we're in a pandemic. Here's what I'm going to do. You're going to not have to pay college tuition. That student debt's gone. So I'm putting that money back into the economy, and spell it out for the American people. They can't even do that. And then it's kind of like you're seeing these down ballot victories. And I'm saying, obviously you're right. It's like we're not going to change this party from within, but they can't cheat all these small elections. And why I say the local election, the local politics are actually more important. The city council in Los Angeles has more power than the mayor. And that's the only way, at least electorally, to get even any kind of anything. And the fact that Florida can vote for $15 an hour minimum wage shows all these other states they can get it. But short of getting, Greens and progressives and Democratic socialists and all the city councils, which I think is a tactic people should really start doing. Just if there's nobody running like that, then you should run. That's what I say to my audience.